Terry the Tiny Dragon by Melissa Miles, with illustrations by Helen Taylor. This book is dedicated to the memory of Mr. Marshall, my Standard 4 teacher at Ilam School. Mr. Marshall, here you are. Terry was a tiny dragon. He lived in a teapot lying on its side at the bottom of Helen's garden. Helen knew he was there because she had seen his tail hanging out of the teapot one day when she'd gone down to her favorite part of the garden to play with her doll. Helen didn't know that Terry was a dragon, and neither did Terry. Helen thought he was some kind of lizard, a skink or a gecko. She nicknamed the little creature living in the teapot Terry because he seemed terrified of everything. Helen decided she was going to tame the little creature and set about doing just that. The first thing she did was to bring him food. Every day she'd bring him some water in the lid of a jam jar and a biscuit or some of her morning cereal. Terry seemed partial to cereal, so she mainly stuck with that. Once, for a change, she tried a piece of sausage, but the little animal left it. He must be a vegetarian, Helen thought to herself. Life for Terry had become tumultuous the day he had left his tail hanging out of his tiny teapot lair. Up till then he had nibbled on leaves and bark and sipped a little muddy rainwater, but he didn't know what he was or where he had come from. One day he had just arrived in a great space, and there had been huge things around him. He didn't know he was in a backyard, and he didn't know the things were trees. Everything frightened him. The wind and the rain rattled the trees, and Terry was terrified. He looked for somewhere to hide, and in the corner of the large space, which of course was Helen's garden, he saw something to hide in. He saw a small cave. The cave was an old teapot that someone had thrown under a bush in Helen's backyard long ago. It must have been long before Helen and her parents moved into the house, because it was very old. To Terry, though, it was just a quiet, dark place. He cautiously crept into it, and there he sighed, safe now, and stayed. Join me next week for the next part of Terry the Tiny Dragon. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.